Shabbat Shalom, a late Shabbat Shalom. I said I was going to do this, even though it did get pretty late, but I'm still going to stand by my word and do that. It's been a minute I've been away with some other stuff, but felt it was time to get back in the swing of things with outreach and Bible stuff, teachings, etc., etc. So, hallelujah for that, and I appreciate all the people who sent me kind words over the time that I've been out and whatnot. Appreciate y'all feedback, and appreciate y'all checking the word out, and pray it was in sincerity and in the Ruach of Yah. So with that being said, again, hallelujah. Getting into a new lesson at hand, which kind of was different from what I wanted to do for my first lesson coming back, but I was compelled to do this one. And this lesson is going to be over pessimism is a demonic force. And it's different than unfaithfulness, because just because somebody is unfaithful or don't have faith as they should, it doesn't mean they're a pessimist. A pessimist is a different type of situation. But with no further, etc., get into the lesson. And the first aspect of this is when we turn from Yah, so many ways to do that. The ways of Lucifer wait for us, including the lesson topic of pessimism or pessimists. And these are, pessimism is actually a character of Lucifer. And when we go into the lesson, it'll further prove that and whatnot. And the second part of this, what is pessimism? I just gave a brief talk about, the separation of unfaithfulness. But what is pessimism? And I like to go to the etymology dictionary to figure out root words and whatnot. And this is pessimism from the online etymology dictionary .com, and it says, as a name given to the metaphysical doctrines of scholars, that this is, giving the example, that this is the worst possible world, or that everything tends towards evil. It is recorded in English by 1835 from a German word called pessimist, as tendency to over-exaggerate in thought the evils of life, or to look only to the dark side. Somebody who's always woe is me, I'm so this, I'm so this, oh, nothing looks right, that, etc., etc. This always words of darkness in their minds. We tend to see the last effect of it when it comes out, but this is stuff that stems from the mind, the heart, and etc., etc. How they got there, it's demonic force. But this is the definition of that. And I wanted to show also this as well. You probably can't see it the best, but hopefully you can get the gist, and anybody who wants to do further edification on the definition can just go to the website. But this is the word optimism. And what this site likes to do is give a trend of how a word is cycling throughout years. So you can see optimism. from the 1800s to 2019 was a steady low increment up until around the 1920s. It's probably like around after the Great Depression, people hope start getting back up or whatever. But this word started to become in more usage from 1920 to 2019, and it's always been around the four, low four, or in between 3 and 5 on their ranking system. But when you go look at the word pessimism that was just read, you can see that from 1800 to 2019, it had an uptick around 1870 for the word being in use, and that thing shot up tremendously in usage and stayed at a steady high increase. So you can also see the forces, demonic forces working in hand, because demonic words and demonic forces go hand in hand. So how people are expressing how they feel, how people are expressing, how their outlook on life is, etc., etc. And the pessimist aspect of energy, of usage, went through the roof and has been steadily at a high incline from around the 1870 takeoff. So I just wanted to point that out to some good information right there. But also my end on like the introduction to pessimism. So one thing I like to do when I look up particular words, I like to see if they have any. It is common demonic aspects attached to them when you go look it up. Like if you go to Google, go to the search engine, when you look up that word, there's something else pop up. And one thing that was particular that I was pretty sure that would pop up when you go and look up the word pessimist. This is on Google Images. So it's the normal stuff for the most part at the start of it. Just giving the expression, the depiction of how optimism and pessimism is going. But when you go a little further down, you start getting into, this is one of them right here, but there's one, yeah, here you go, right here. And you have, let me click that. When I saw this earlier, I was like, bam, jackpot. This is a heavy metal rock group from Baltimore, Maryland. They heavily influenced the death metal scene from the 1990s starting period up until now, and the name of their group is Pessimists. Why would a demonic group, heavy metal group, take on the name Pessimist? As I go into the scriptures and edification on this, you'll see how further it's attached to that demonic byproduct of Lucifer. And then there's one more that was right here. There's a few more, but this one right here. This is another group that's on the website called Death Wish Inc. Like it gets so demonic, and they're under Church Road Music Group or whatever, and it's called Raleigh Pessimist. You have another demonic type of influence, and it says some more information about it. It's a powerful and uncompromising hardcore band hailing from Salt Lake City. So another interesting thing, all these are native to the United States as well. So this is a uncompromising hardcore metal rock group, and they're about pessimism. Everything's bad, it's all going to hell, etc., etc., etc. The devil's puppeteers, trumpeters to destroy the children of light with pessimism. I just wanted to use that quick introduction to pessimism and giving some type of showing some type of attachment to the dark forces of the devil. It's just not simple as it's just a word. It actually has more to that, more substance to that, and one should understand that. It's no different than gluttony. It's no different than somebody with severe anger. It's no different than these sinful behaviors. Pessimism is a sinful and dark behavior. All right, now we got some little background of pessimism, the pessimist, and how is a pessimist created? So this stems from the demonic byproduct of Lucifer's fall. So when Lucifer fall, however that went, that came with a adverse byproduct. It went from everything that was good, and then it flipped to everything that was bad. So hoping Yah, not hoping Yah, pessimist, he's no good, etc., etc. Everything's going to work out for the best. Nothing's going to work out. It's just that pessimism aspect. You got it's light against darkness. Through also the second aspect. So this is where it comes from, that demonic force. But how does it get transferred to people who are not demons? And I mean literal, not demons. People who get possessed by demons, influenced by demons. We got Gentiles, and then we got the children of Yah, the Israelites. How does a person who is not born with this stuff, who is not rooted in the essence of pessimism, of the spirit of Lucifer, how does this get on them? So the way the devil likes to transfer this force on others is through pain and heartache, which welcomes this demonic force into their own and others' lives. You can have somebody whose life on their own is being destroyed because they don't understand the situation that they're in. They're not taking it serious. Or you got situations where that same type of person, they're influencing their whole family. Everybody's a pessimist because of this pessimist influenced person. So, but it's done through pain and hurt and heartache. So, and I'm gonna show you scripturally, which when trying to figure out a biblical lesson on this was a little not the easiest to do. There's not many examples of this that's readily available as other examples, but I was able to pull Aliyah through some good ones that I feel will give a good example of how demonic heartache and pain that the devil's trying to do to somebody can twist that person's spirit and turn them, into that dark, droopy, woe is me type situation, etc., etc. So the next part is going to be examples of pessimists in the Bible, cause and effect. Again, a pessimist is created when they're not, essence of the devil. The devil creates children of Yah, Gentiles, into pessimists by pain and heartache. So we're going to go to Job and show some aspects of this with him. And I'm gonna go back and forth on certain things because I like the Targum, and I'm gonna do that. But some of the stuff I'll just keep it in the KJV, and hopefully this thing don't fall off. So it's kind of flimsy. coming back. You can tell this is my first time in a minute doing this. Especially with this very flimsy stand. Got it to work, had to tighten it. But this is going to be Job 1 and 1:12. Get right to it. Job. There we go. Job 1:12. And we can see the demonic force at hand here. And El said unto Satan, Lucifer, behold, all that he hath, Job, is in thine power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of El. So right here, basically saying, hey, everybody should know the backstory of Job, and whatnot. So I'm not going to touch too much in there. Definitely good book to read, 3-4 times actually. So Satan has been given a rule to hurt Job's surrounding, family, finances, cattle, etc., but not him personally. And then we go to Job 2. And then it's Job chapter 2, verse 3-6. And El said unto Satan, so Satan did what Satan did, and Job super sad, etc., And then Yah was like, okay, what you think about Job? He's still strong. And Job and Lucifer is coming back the second time to challenge Yah on it, but a little different this time. And El said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth Yah, and escheweth evil, meaning very disdain towards evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him, to destroy him without cause. And Satan answered El and said, skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath will he give for his life. But put forth thine hand now, and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. And El said unto Satan, behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. So this time, first time, Yah was like, don't touch him. You can do everything outside of him, don't touch him. Yah, Satan challenged Yah, and Yah was like, okay, well, you can touch him, just don't kill him. So now you see how Job has lost things that are outwardly that he cared about, and then he's losing things inwardly, to his own person, like his health, his good immune system. He's getting bowls, etc., painful, shots to the body. So it's one thing to be worried about people outside when you're still maintaining a healthy body, but it's another aspect to be maintaining an unhealthy body and all the stuff that's going on. So that's the pain and the heartache right there. Then we're going to go to Exodus 8, Exodus chapter 1, 8-14, and I'm going to do that in the Targum, and this is Exodus chapter 1, 8-14, and I'm going to read it on here. And there arose a new king, other than he who was formerly over Mizraim, who took no knowledge of Joseph, and walked not in his laws. So the background to this is when Joseph came to Egypt, he was sold, etc., wound up becoming second in command all of Egypt, and he took care of the Israelites on that by the workings of Yah, etc. Now Joseph is at his end times, and Egypt is still moving along, etc., etc. And as time is going on, new kings are coming, and they're forgetting the relationship Joseph, or not caring about the relationship Joseph had with former pharaohs. And so now they're plotting against the Israelites, because under Joseph in Egypt, the Israelites were doing pretty well. So again, who took no knowledge of Joseph and walked not in his laws. And he said to his people, behold, now this is the Egyptians talking to the Egyptians. And he said to his people, behold, now the people of the house of Israel are many and are stronger than we, because under Joseph they prospered. All right, let me go to 10. Come, let us take counsel against them in these matters, to diminish them that they multiply not, so as that should war be arrayed against us, they be not added to our adversaries, and destroy us, that not one of us be left, and they afterwards go forth from the land. So they're tripping about, hey, how, the Israelites are going to come against them, etc., etc. So let's put them in check. Verse 11, and they set over them workmasters, the Israelites. The Egyptians made a new decree, etc., etc., and they set over them workmasters to afflict them in their servitude. And they builded walled cities to become Pharaoh's treasure palaces, Tanis and Philistin. But as much as they depressed them, so much they multiplied, and so much they prevailed. Talking about the Israelites, the more the Egyptians put hard bondage on them, the more they prevailed, the more they multiplied in fruitfulness of their loins. And the Mizraim were troubled in their lives before the sons of Israel. And the Mizraim enslaved the sons of Israel. So, the more they're having to keep dealing with the Israelites, the more they're putting down the hammer, getting more harsher, getting more judgments, getting more problematic about them. Verse 14, last verse 14. And made their lives bitter, by hard service in clay and bricks, in all the labor of the face of the field, and in all the work which they made them do was hardness. So it was no plan with the Israelites. It's straight up, we coming hard. We coming to break your heart. We coming to give you pain. How do you create a pessimist? By putting them in hardship situations. Let me correct that. You have a possibility of creating a pessimist in these type of situations. Not everybody fall for this. It's a will to this that can't be broke under none of these situations. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But this is that, and I have another example. That's Genesis chapter 4, verse 3 to 7. I'm going to read that out of the Targum too. And this is going to be about Cain and Abel. Because Cain, biblically, one could say this was the second introduction to a pessimist. Lucifer first, and Cain second one. And again, this is Genesis chapter 4, verse 3 to 7. And again, this is the Targum. And it goes into much more detail and really getting the pessimist aspect out of Cain. And it was at the end of days, on the 14th of Nisan, that Cain brought up the produce of the earth and the seed of cotton, an oblation of first things before El. So here you go with the first fruit type of situation, and everybody should be familiar with the Cain and Abel first fruits matter. Cain offered vegetables, etc., etc., and Abel offered flesh of an animal. And Yah accepted Abel's over Cain. And Abel, it's called Abel in Targum, bought of the firstlings of the flock and of their fat, and it was pleasing before El, and he gave his countenance to Abel and to his oblation. But Cain, and to his obligation he gave no countenance. And Cain was angered greatly, and the features of his face were downcast. So here you got the anger, okay, the heartache, and anger can be a form of heartache too, because you know when people get super upset or whatnot, you know they can be upset, be angry, but you know they're heartbroken or et cetera, et cetera. And El said to Cain, "Why hast thou anger, and why are the features of thy face downcast?" So you got Yah over here just like, hey man, what's the big deal, et cetera, et cetera. So you know, even though understanding Yah, not wanting to break anybody's heart. So you see when he's coming to him, it's on some like, hey man, you know, don't overthink it type stuff. You know what I'm saying? We straight, don't overthink it. But Cain is like, got the devil is already turning the wheels, etc., etc. And Yah goes on to say, if thou doest thy work well, will not thy guilt be forgiven thee? But if thou doest not thy work well in this world, thy sin is retained unto the day of the great judgment. And at the doors of thine heart lieth thy sin. And into thy hand have I delivered the power over evil possession. And unto thee shall be the inclination thereof, that thou mayest have authority over it, to become righteous. And that, yep. So you see the pain aspect. How the pessimist made it? Through pain and heartbrokenness. One could clearly argue that he's heartbroken, or maybe he's just, you know, took it so hard, you know, the not being accepted aspect, that, you know, he just lost it. And, you know, here's the devil with that demonic force, it's all over, no need to And later on we'll go into how Cain is really displaying the pessimist's force in him. Cool. Now we get, this was talking about the cause and effect, how a pessimist is how a pessimist can be made. Now we're going to go to when a pessimist is created. So we're going to go to Cain. So we're right here, and this is going to be Genesis chapter 4, verse 8 to 9 in the Targum. All right, since we're right here. Now this is a longer one. Very much more detail in the Targum than the KJV, etc., etc. And you'll see why. And Cain said to Abel. So after he's talking to Yah, well, should I say after Yah is talking to him, trying to give him like, hey man, don't let this get out of control. And Cain said to Abel, his brother, come, and let us two go forth into the field. And it was that when they two had gone forth into the field, Cain answered and said to Abel, I perceive that the world was created in goodness, but it is not governed or conducted according to the fruit of good works. So look at him. The pessimist is just reeking from him now. He's saying that up to this first sentence, that the world was created good and great and in goodness. I acknowledge that, but the one who is over this world, Yah, he's not doing a good job as making sure justice is being dispensed. All right. For there is respect to persons in judgment, because his offering wasn't accepted. Now there's a problem with the judge, because it couldn't be his doing, his works that are the issue. It's the judge that's the issue. For there is respect to person in judgment. Therefore it is that thine offering was accepted. He's calling, like, you got to be out of your mind to call out Yah. You got to be out of your mind to try to G-check Yah. I mean, just you gotta really look into yourself to be like, man, I gotta be tripping. I know Yah ain't on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give Yah the benefit of the doubt, and I ain't gonna charge Yah with that. Because now he's talking about how Yah is a respectable person, etc., etc. Therefore it is thine offering was accepted, and mine not accepted with good will. Abel answered and said to Cain, in goodness was the world created, and according to the fruit of good works is it governed. And there is no respect of persons in judgment. But because the fruits of my works were better than thine, my oblation before thine hath been accepted with good will. See, it's much more details. Cain answered and said to Abel, there is neither judgment nor judge, nor another world, nor will good reward be given to the righteous, nor vengeance be taken of the wicked. And he's just off. He's saying, it don't matter if you do good, and it don't matter if you do wicked. Ain't gonna happen. You ain't gonna get no just reward for your goodness, and the wicked, they ain't gonna get no just judgment for their wickedness. All hell. You know what I'm saying? And Abel answered and said to Cain, there is a judgment, and there is a judge, and there is another world, and the world to come, and a good reward given to the righteous, and vengeance taken of the wicked. And because of these words, they had contention upon the face of the field. So you got Abel really correcting him, like, nah, man, it's really like this. You going off, Cain, and Cain like, nah, you going off. So now they got contention. And Cain arose against Abel, his brother. So Cain can't take it no more. He's such blown out with the pessimist mindset. You know what? I ain't trying to hear all that actual righteous speaking you talking about. He's so gone in the pessimist mindset. You know what he gonna do? Cain rose against Abel, his brother, and drove a stone into his forehead and killed him. So it also goes into showing that the pessimist is a dangerous person when they're around somebody of the light, because the person of the light is going to be talking about light matters and not yielding in that. The pessimist, which is who, comes from the devil, and what the devil want to do: rob, steal, and kill, etc., etc. And what came with that entry, that first entry, the pessimist entering into Cain. Now he want to kill somebody, a murder. All right, verse 9. And El said to Cain, where is Abel, thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I the keeper of my brother? I mean, just to, like, you want me to look after him? Yeah, I'm a pessimist. I don't look after nobody. I don't care about nothing. But this is a very good example of the pessimist, the creation of the pessimist. And that's unfortunate. Now we're going to go to Job. Even Job did his thing. Job did his thing, and he got himself together. But he was on the lines of a pessimist. And this is going to and hallelujah, got him, talked with him, checked him, and then he was like, I'm tripping. This is Job chapter 3, verse 1 to 13. Now this is Job is in pessimist mindset right now. After this opened Job his mouth and cursed his day. And Job spake and said, let the day perish wherein I was born, and the night in which it was said, there is a man child conceived. Now Job is going on this super tangent of, I get it, man, it's painful, but you can't walk with Yah and then something tragic happen, or et cetera, minor tragic, a big tragic, and just be like, oh, da da da, curse the day I was born. Like, come on, man, like, let's get through this, because I'm sure y'all got some usage for you, and et cetera, on top of the fact, there's a reward for them that are faithful and righteous for the world to come. Now, verse 4, Job. Let the day be darkness. Let not Yah regard it from above. Neither let the light shine upon it. Let darkness and the shadow of death stain it. Let a cold dwell upon it. Let the blackness of the day terrify it. You know what? How this flows in a poetry, in a poetry type of vibe is awesome, but it's so downing and pessimistic that it's flowing in. You know, he's really jotting it down and really putting it together, but it's just everybody up in here leaving after he get done with his poem. As for verse 6, as for that night, let darkness seize upon it. Let it not be joined unto the days of the years. Let it not come into the number of the months. Lo, let that night be solitary. Let no joyful voice come therein. And that's another thing about the pessimist. Once somebody really on that pessimistic stuff, oh no, Joe, you try to do something for them, and then it's just like you really see the stronghold of that demonic force on them. Let them curse it that curse the day, who are ready to rise up their morning. Let the stars of the twilight thereof be dark. Let it look for light, but have none. Oh my goodness, now he's talking about solar system, you know, that's shining. He's talking about, let that be dark. Not on mine. Let it not be for me, but have none. Neither let it see the dawning of the day, because it shut not up the doors of my mother's womb, nor hide sorrow from mine eyes. Now, and this again, such a pessimistic outlook. Now, like, I don't want to, I just want to see darkness. I just want to see this. I don't want to see it's very demonic for us, very disturbing. Why, and damning, if it's not gotten under control, why died I not from the womb? Why did I not give up the spirit when I came out of the belly? Why did the knees prevent me? Or why the breast that I should suck? And this is to 13. This is 13. For now should I have lain still and been quiet. I should have slept, then had I been at rest. Oh my goodness. And you know, this Job is one of the saddest pessimists, because you know Yah so personally. You know Yah so intimately. You know how Yah moves. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, you know, that's the worst. When people really have that genuine, great relationship, and Job had a genuine, great relationship with Yah, and still, I'm sure, still has a great relationship with Yah. And Yah bet on Job. But when it was time for Job to show up and really understand the fundamentals of this fallen world, and really being that Christ example, because Job spoke about, I know my Redeemer cometh. He knows that figure, that being is coming. you know, I'm sure Job realized the tremendous actions Yah would have to take to redeem what was fallen, and for Job to fall in this pessimistic tunnel so far. It's really unfortunate, but again, hallelujah, he snapped out of it. You know, Yah did him a personal favor and you know, spoke one-on-one to him on that. Now we're going to go to Exodus chapter 16, verse 1 to 3, and this goes back to the Israelites. They're being put in hard bondage by the Egyptians, and hopefully this thing don't fall. Now we're going to Exodus chapter 16, verse 1 to 3. Let me pull it up. All right. This is Exodus chapter 16, verse 1 to 3 in the Targum. And the whole congregation of Israel journeyed from Elim and came to the desert of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the month of Adar, the second month from there, going forth from the land of Mizraim. So this is the aspect. Yah done got them out of Egypt. Pharaoh been taken care of. Plagues, frogs, firstborn dying. They headed to Jerusalem. They were supposed to be headed to Jerusalem, but they became pessimistic. What kept the Israelites out of many of the Israelites out of Jerusalem? They were pessimistic. All right. And on that day, the bread which they had bought out of Mizraim was finished. So all the victuals that they got from Mizraim, you remember, they were prompted to pack up food, make it in haste, because y'all gotta go. They done ate all of it up. And all the sons of Israel grumbled against Moshe and against Aaron in the desert. So now they grumpy. Now they talking up a storm. Verse 3. And the sons of Israel said to them, Moses and Aaron, would that we had died by the word of El in the land of Mizraim. They say, man, we would rather die. It would have been better if y'all just said, everybody die. When we sat by the cistern of meat and ate bread and had enough. They saying now, y'all done took us out of this place of bondage, but we was eating, but we had meat, we had bread, etc., etc. Now we're in the wilderness, and we done finished our last piece of unleavened bread, and we done had it with this. We didn't sign up for this. Pessimist. Why hast thou brought us out into this wilderness to kill all this congregation with hunger? They saying, y'all did all these miracles and all this yeah, whatever. Crazy. You telling me you just seen all these random powerful events, ocean spreading, frog plagues coming out of nowhere, stuff you ain't never heard of. Pharaoh being checked and saying let y'all go, and y'all was like yeah whatever, but we ain't got nothing to eat though. The pessimists always want to just dwell on something that is not necessarily worthy to fully give your full attention to, not seeing the big picture of the scenario. And whatnot. So we got created pessimists now, and clearly later on, y'all, was opening the mouth of the earth, killing them, slewing the fattest ones from the greed that they was experiencing, and then all that generation had to die, only their children to get into the promised land. So pessimism kept many of the elders out of the kingdom in Israel. So we see how this is playing out here. Now we're going to go to how to combat the pessimist spirit, because again, it's a spirit, it's a Lucifer spirit. This is where all this stuff comes from. Cain is a great example of how it was here on the planet, and then just kept spreading because of Lucifer and its demonic force. We're going to go to Matthew chapter 13. Matthew chapter 13. Verse 58. Matthew chapter 13, verse 58. One more page. All right. Now, you have to understand how to combat this stuff, because you really have to have that relationship with Yah through Mashiach to really be able to get these strongholds of that pessimistic spirit broken. And we always got to remember these key factors. Matthew 13:58. And he, Yahusha, did many mighty works. Talking about, where was this? I think this was in Nazarene. He did many marvelous works there. No. Excuse me. He did not many mighty works there because of their unbelief. So you got all these people, they're in situations like this. They're not in the best situations. Got it, 100%. But you still can't let the devil take that optimism, that faithfulness, that I'm looking for the good things to come aspect from your mind, your heart, your soul, your salvation, etc., etc. You can't let the devil trick you into that, because at the end of the day, Lucifer is trying to create pessimists. That's the fact of the matter is. Lucifer is trying to create pessimists. Lucifer wants you to be a pessimist, so Lucifer can watch you not get any blessings, any miracles, etc., etc. Because what? And he did not many works there because of their unbelief. So you mess with the pessimism spirit, you're gonna stop your own blessings because you can't be worked with. You know what I'm saying? You gotta deal with the pessimism. Y'all gotta deal with the pessimism stuff with you first before y'all can do some blessings, etc., with you. And who knows how that's gonna go? Y'all could have a win in that, or y'all could have a loss in that. Job, he had a win in it. These Israelites right here, he had a loss in it. He had to let them die. All right, so we have to acknowledge, if you ain't got that belief, if you letting pessimism mess up your belief in Yah, you starting at a negative. You got to put that. I have to have belief. I can't let this pessimism get to me. I can't let the devil keep telling me everything is so bad. Everything is not going to change. Everything is not going to get better. Because you could be the problem in this situation, because you know what? Nothing's going to get better. Just like Cain said, there's no reward for the righteous and there's no judgment for the wicked. Now we're going to go to Hebrews 11:6. Hebrews 11:6. 11 verse 6. Let me get a water break. All right, this is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to Yah must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. And that's a completely optimistic. This is an optimistic opposition to what Cain was saying earlier. Nah, he ain't rewarding nobody, and he ain't judging nobody, etc. But Yah says what? and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. But you gotta put that pessimistic spirit in check until it leaves, you know. Hopefully it leaves, you can get it cast out of you, but if you can't get it cast out of you, you gotta always keep that thing in check. You know, it's not gonna be as bad because it don't have full reign. It's still there. You just gotta keep it in check. This is Proverbs chapter 3. Proverbs chapter 3. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 1 to 8. And then I think I gotta go to Jeremiah and something else in Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 3, 1 to 8. And this is how you combat that pessimistic spirit. This is how you gotta remember. First, you gotta be able to be in the spirit that's believing in Yah, you know, and diligently seeking Yah. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 1 to 8. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck. Write them upon the tables of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of Yah. Trust in El with all thine heart diligently, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Don't let pessimism direct your path. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear El and depart from evil. Being in the pessimistic spirit is evil. You're in evil. No, you ain't doing witchcraft, but you're actually in wickedness. You're in the midst of evil, because pessimism is a byproduct of Lucifer's fall. If you have any byproduct of Lucifer's fall, you gotta check it. You gotta acknowledge it. You gotta start working it out of you. Verse 8. It shall be health to thy navel, and marrow to thy bones, if you bind his commandments in you, not bind pessimism in you. You gotta combat this stuff. You can't be stuck in this. If you want to do that, you're gonna destroy. Lucifer's gonna destroy you and laugh when you die. You stupid, foolish person. You could have just bind his commandments to your heart, to your neck, not Lucifer byproduct, demonic influence. This is Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 9. Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 9. I think I got the back hang of this little thing again that I used for a while. Jeremiah chapter 17. I thought it was 7. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. The heart is deceitful. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? When you got these pessimistic thoughts flowing through your head, flowing through your heart, you gotta realize it's being filtered through a flawed system. That's why Yah is like, take the overthinking out. You don't be in the corner thinking it out. I got it for you. I got it for you. Do this, black and white, or if you want to put it in color, whatever. It's written for you. You ain't gotta overthink it to be caught up in a corrupted filter. And you don't want to do that, because when you filter through something that's a broken filter, that's already got lead in it, poison in it. It's something a filter that came from a corrupt manufacturer, and you putting this on your water, and your water already got stuff in it. Now this filter that came contaminated, you're filtering it through that. It's just poison upon poison, and you're drinking it. You gotta stop it. The heart is deceitful above all things, and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Proverbs, back to Proverbs 28. Proverbs 28. Verse 26. Proverbs 28. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 26. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool, but who walketh wisely, he shall be delivered. This goes back to Jeremiah 17 and Proverbs 3. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool, but he who walks wisely, binding the commandments to your mind and to your heart, you're wise. But if you ain't binding that and you trust in a deceitful filter, the scriptures say this is a fool. All right. What sums up the op to the pessimist? Modern day term for op is opponent. What is the opponent to optimist? The optimism, optimist, etc., etc. What is the opponent? We think we got. I'm sure we got a clear understanding about right now, but this is just furthering the point, and this is Galatians chapter 5. Galatians chapter 5, verse 22 to 26. What is the opponent to the pessimist, to pessimism? Verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is the opposition to the pessimist. Because what is Yah operating in? Fruits of the Spirit. What is Yahusha operating in? The fruits of the Spirit. They just doing it and showing you and telling you, hey, do this. And this just sums it up. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faithfulness, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law, and they that are Christ have crucified the flesh with the affliction of lust, with the affliction and lust. And you're also crucifying that pessimism, all the byproduct characteristics of Lucifer. If we live in the Ruach, let us walk in the Ruach. Let us not be desirous of vainglory. And desirous means conceited. Let us not be conceited of vainglory. Because if something is not full, in the inward and the outward, if you're just dealing with somebody who just has the outer shell and not the filling inside, that's where the pessimism and all that other stuff can play around with. There's no room when it's already filled. For example, the fruits of the Spirit. When you got it, feel like the devil can't just come in there, like there's no room. Like, I mean, even if you wanted the devil in there, which that wouldn't be. But I'm just saying for this for conversation's sake, even if you wanted the devil in there, there's no room. You got temperance, meekness, goodness, faithfulness, etc., etc. Again, verse 26. Let us not be conceited of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another. So when you operate in the fruits of the Spirit, this entity, this presence cannot dwell in you like that. It can probably try to pick at you, but once it realizes can't get in, let me get up out of here. Waste of time. Lucifer is not trying to waste time on nobody. Lucifer was not trying to waste time with Yahusha on the mountain. Look, can I corrupt you? No, let me go do something else. You know what I'm saying? There's way more souls available to be destroyed. Lucifer just ain't gonna be wasting time all day with you. Now Lucifer will come back time from time, but Lucifer just ain't gonna sit there. You know, it don't make sense. It don't make economical soul sense. Lucifer is about prospering in wickedness. Now we got. Now we get this. These are the things the opponent to the optimistic, the pessimistic spirit. But what about this stuff ain't working? You know what I'm saying? As long as you got that heart for Yah, as long as you got that temperance for Yah, as long as you got that yield and that urge to submit to Yah, you got things you gotta work with. It's sometimes you gotta build it up. You gotta build it up, just like Job. You know, this was a back and forth type of situation. You just gotta keep building it. You gotta go to the gym with this. And the spiritual aspect is like this. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 28. 1 Corinthians, if I can find it. It's right here. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 28. Let me check, see how much this thing is going. Alright, I'm at an hour. Alright, sounds about right for me. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 28. Now, what can you do if this stuff that ain't working? All right, this is you don't want to be involved with this pessimistic spirit. What you're doing so far ain't working. All right, check this out. But let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. So this also goes into the eating of the supper and whatnot. But also the point here, examine yourself. Examine yourself. When we examine ourselves, that saves us a lot of other people trying to examine us and trying to call us out. You know what I'm saying? Well, you can be in a situation where you shouldn't have did that, but you know what? You examined the situation, you took care of that situation, repented, whatever you needed to do, and moved on. And a year later, I mean, somebody might bring that up to you, but I've been took care of that. You know what I'm saying? So examining yourself. You know, a lot of us don't do that. And when you examine yourself, you gotta be truthful with yourself. You gotta be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want a real, sincere relationship with Yah, you gotta be real and sincere. Y'all already know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Alright, do you want to do better or not? If you want to do better, you know what I'm saying? Like he told Cain, you know, hey, if you want to do good, we can move. If you don't, sin will wait for you. Now we're going to Matthew chapter 6. Matthew chapter 6. Matthew chapter 6. Okay. I can definitely say I'm getting back into the flow of this. Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. No man can serve two masters. Go back to examining yourself. Am I serving two masters? Am I doing some idiotic stuff like that? And then, you know, once you realize, oh man, I see why I'm slipping up. It's all about figuring out ways you can get back in line. You know, if it's out of line, okay, okay, I am serving two masters. Bam, let me get back in line. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve Yah and Mammon. So you gotta understand, like, it's all about process of elimination. Like, okay, why ain't the fruits of the spirit working? Okay, do I need to do some self-examination? Do I need to, you know, am I serving two masters, etc., etc.? Just, you know, this this the safety check. Like, okay, bam, 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 bam. 1 Corinthians chapter 4. 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 2. 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 2. Moreover, it is required in the steward that a man be found faithful. Yah is telling you. They go back to it's impossible because I couldn't have. Yahushua in Matthew said I couldn't do these marvelous works because they're unfaithfulness. They're unbelief. It's impossible to serve Yah without faith. It goes back to this. Moreover, it is required in stewards that a man be found faithful. You gotta be faithful, man. And if you really want their relationship with Yah, that's just gonna be. And they go back to that exam and stuff. If you really don't want their relationship, it's a struggle. It is a struggle. It's back and forth. Oh no. But if you really want their relationship, you know, however you move with Yah, sit down, pray about it. You know, however you communicate when Yah going on the drive, talking to him, that's gonna flow. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta have that faithfulness with him. You know, you gotta have that longing to have that relationship with him. You know, and if your relationship, it could be like, man, I ain't check out Yah in a minute. That's why I'm, you know what I'm saying, I'm tripping. That's why the scriptures say that no man say that Yah made him sin. Anyone who is drawn away from Yah sinned it. So you gotta understand, oh man, I'm too far from Yah. Let me get a little closer to Yah. Literally, I need to get 2 feet closer to Yah. I got out of bounds. Matthews 11, 28 and 30. 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 I thought it was a pretty good lesson. You know, it came to me on late notice, but you know, I had another thing that I planned on doing for a while, but this one was a late notice, and you know, I think it's a pretty good topic. I don't hear too much about the pessimistic, the unfaithful. I get a good amount of times. The unfaithful, but the pessimist is different. You know what I'm saying? The pessimist is different. That's a real demonic force. That's why when I went to those images, like you got demonic bands coming up. You know, like the tools of Lucifer. Matthews 11. One more page over. 28 to 30. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. You gotta believe it, though. You gotta believe it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta believe it. Like, it's a sad situation when you around somebody who can help you, but you don't want to act. You don't want to open your mouth. You don't want to open your heart. And on this aspect, I'm talking about Yah. You don't want to open up your heart. You don't want to open up your vault to Yah. You know, and Yah, like, through Yahushua, come unto me, all ye that are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. That goes back to Proverbs. Put some commandments on you. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. For I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your soul. Now, this is what Job should have been, you know, yeah. But you know what I'm saying? I'm going to take his yoke. I'm going to find rest, etc., etc. I said all that unnecessariness, but it was for an example for future. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Now that's not pessimism right there. Pessimism is heavy, burdensome. Optimism and that spirit mixed with Yah is light. It's not burdensome. And now we're gonna go to 2 more. Two more points. Matthew 17, 21 to 23. 21 to 23. From that time forth, being Yahusha to show unto his disciples how that he must go unto Jerusalem and suffer many. Now, no. That's Passover. That's Passover scriptures. We're in that time, but that was 16. This is 17, 22, 21, 23. Howbeit, and he's talking about these spirits, this demonic force, the spirit of pessimism. What does it say? Howbeit, this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. If you can't fast, pray it up. You should always be able to pray. So, but sometimes for certain situations, people are in a particular situation where fasting is not the best for them for various reasons. Y'all's understanding to that. But prayer, what does Scripture say? Howbeit this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. And while they abide in Galilee, Yahusha said unto them, the Son of Man shall be betrayed unto. No, I don't think that's necessary. Yeah, just that one right there. These spirits, fasting, prayer. Now we got one more. Romans. If nothing else come to mind. Romans chapter 8. If the walk don't tell me nothing. Romans 8, 35 to 39. Alright, this is Romans chapter 8, verse 35 to 39. Who shall separate us from the love of Yahusha? Question. Shall tribulation or distress? What's a form of distress? The pessimism. You got these pessimistic thoughts. That's stress. Or persecution, or famine, or nakedness, or peril, or sword. As it a sword, the scriptures say, you wrestle not against flesh and blood. So the devil's sword ain't not always this literal metal sword. It's a spiritual sword, and one sword that the devil cut with is pessimism. How can I jab this pessimistic sword into that person so it can dwell in that person? As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Now reading this, you be like, man, a pessimist could flip this. But this talking about the faithful and understanding the situation you're in. The earth is given to the hands of the wicked. We're in a particular situation here. We're trying to, just like Abel was talking about, the world to come. He's a rewarder of them for the world to come. He's a rewarder here too, but the big picture is the world to come. That's where you really want all your treasures. And we are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. But they're not coming from a pessimistic perspective. They're coming from, man, we understand the situation we're on. We understand that they trying to do any and everything they can to disrespect Yahusha. 37. Nay, in all things. Oh man, read it again. As it is written, because this really cuts the pessimistic spirit. As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. See how they just put that pessimistic stuff? They weren't even coming from a pessimistic perspective, but they gave no room for it to even dwell in there. Verse 38, for I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come. Now, 39. Nor height, nor depth, nor any creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Yah, which is in Yahushua HaMashiach, our Elohim. Look at that. That's the approach. You gotta motivate yourself. If you ain't just flowing in the fruits of the Spirit like that, if you gotta motivate yourself to get up there and climb up there and maintain that, that's what it is. And you know, he say they in verse 37, really, verse 36 and 37, it really hit home. They say, nay, y'all talk all that stuff, nah, ain't nothing gonna separate me from the love of Yah through Yahushua Mashiach. And that's the stuff Job had to be reminded of. You know what I'm saying? So this was just a lesson and the understanding, a teaching on something that I don't really hear a lot about. You know, and I try to do things that I don't know, stuff just come to me, and you know that I don't hear a lot about. But there is a little information about the pessimistic spirit, demonic spirit of it. Not too much though. It's not very spoken on. But hallelujah, I'm glad I was able to work in a walk to put this lesson together, and hopefully it was edifying, and you know, and it goes out not void. And in the name of Yahweh, Hallelujah.